Hi everybody, it's Mrs. Watts here on a Wednesday night, and tonight I'm going to be reading out loud Dewey, There's a Cat in the Library by Vicki Myron. Wait until you see these pictures, they're so beautiful. Here's the cover page, the title page, Dewey, There's a Cat in the Library. Every night, people left books in the return box of the library in the small town of Spencer, Iowa. Funny books, big books, truck books, pig books, they left them all. But one night, on the coldest night of the year, someone left a strange surprise. Can you guess what it was? It was a tiny kitten. And look at this picture. How precious. When Vicki the librarian found him the next morning, the kitten was cold and scared and very, very dirty. Vicki took one look and decided to give him a warm bath. The kitten went into the sink brown and crying, but he came out orange and purring. "I'm going to keep you," said Vicki, who already loved him. We will name you Dewey, Read More Books. You can live here, and you can be our library cat." But Dewey had no idea what it meant to be a library cat. So he did what all kittens do. He played. He lounged on the newspaper, rode the book cart, and knocked pens to the floor. He goofed around with Marty Mouse, snooped in every open drawer, and always found at least one rubber band. But what Dewey loved most of all was people. Tall ones, round ones, quiet ones, loud ones. The little ones, however, surprised him, and not always in a good way. "Look, Nathan," said his mommy, "there's a cat in the library." Nathan bent down and said, "Hi, hooey dooey yooks." "No," said his sister Hannah, "it's Dewey Read More Books." Dewey squirmed. The boy was petting him in the wrong direction. Dewey loved to be petted, but he hated being petted in the wrong direction. Dewey was licking his fur back into place when he heard a strange noise. Wah! Dewey's ears perked up. He looked around. Wah! Wah! Dewey sprang to attention and crept really slowly toward the sound. I'm going to show you the picture. And here's Dewey on the prowl. And take a look at this picture. Can you guess who was making that noise? That's right, it's a baby. I wanted to show you something. Take a look at how the author wrote the sound of the baby. See right there? Wow. You can see that the font or the letters are making like a wave. Take a look at that. It's like it's written how it sounds and how you would imagine it to sound. Surprise! The little people Dewey discovered came in tiny sizes too, and they loved to giggle and grab and pull and coo. Babies are wonderful, Dewey thought. Cute, and they smell delicious too. Look at these beautiful pictures. A few days later, Dewey went exploring and discovered in a secret room the most exciting thing he had ever seen. Children's Story Hour. Wazzy whiskers, this looks fun, Dewey thought as he pushed into the room with his nose. And someone shouted, "There's a cat in the library!" Well, Dewey just froze. It was quiet for 1 minute, and then everything went wild. And the kids are so excited, they all want to touch him at once. Well, the next thing Dewey knew, he was being carried upside down. Oh my, Dewey thought, what should I do now? There's a librarian, and here's Dewey. Poor Dewey, take a look at this. Completely upside down. I bet he's feeling pretty uncomfortable. Well, late that night, Dewey talked to his friend Marty Mouse. "The library is a wonderful place," Dewey said, "but I'm tired of being pulled and poked and carried upside down. I'm not just a cat in a library. I am a library cat. A library cat helps people, I think, and I'm 92% convinced that that is the reason I am around." Well, Marty Mouse didn't say anything. "I'm going to do it," Dewey said. "I'm going to help people." And he felt so happy that he threw Marty Mouse into the air, kicked him with his back legs, and then slept on him like a pillow. I think that Marty Mouse is a toy. At least I hope he is, for his own sake. Well, the next morning, when the first people arrived, Dewey was waiting to greet them right at the front door. All morning, Dewey acted like a library cat. He read with the mommies and the grandmas. He helped the daddies work. He even shelved books with the library clerk. When he saw little Nathan, he turned a circle and a half so the boy could pet his back from his head down to his tail, the right direction to pet a cat. "I'm glad we're friends, Dewey Wooey," Nathan said, and Dewey smiled at that. By lunchtime, Dewey was worn out, so he found a good box. First, he put his front paws inside, then his belly. He squished his back end down, wiggled around until he was all the way in, and closed his eyes. And here's some kids watching him. "There's an orange muffin in the library," a girl giggled. Isn't that a silly picture? I love that picture. But just as Dewey was about to drift off into sweet kitten dreams, he heard a heavy sigh. His eyes popped open, and he saw a girl on the other side of the library. The girl was reading all by herself. I'm going to read that again. A sad little girl was reading very quietly all by herself. That kind of changed it, didn't it? It changed the message a little bit. I wonder why she's sad. Let's see. I'm having trouble with these pages tonight. He climbed up close and stared at her. She looked the other way. He sniffed her hand. She wouldn't play. He knocked her mittens to the floor. She let him stay. She let them stay, rather, sorry. And there's the mittens knocked to the floor. Then he saw her jacket, and he had his best idea yet. Silly always works. I will be a silly cat today. The girl stared at Dewey. You look like a fuzzy hot dog in a purple bun, she said. And then she surprised him. She laughed right out loud. I love you, Dewey. Read more books, the girl whispered as Dewey nestled into her lap and began to purr. This is it, Dewey thought. I am a real library cat, and it feels great. Nah, it felt better than great. It felt perfect. The end. What was your favorite part of the book? Did you have a favorite part? I think my favorite part was right here. My goodness, let me see if I can find it. Right here, when he was being so silly. I think that was my favorite part. And thank you for reading with me tonight. I miss you guys. It's so nice to have some time with you to read. I appreciate the times that we get to spend together, even if it's just on a screen. It makes me feel connected to you, and I just appreciate when you tune in and you read a book with me. It's really nice. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care. Have a good night.